Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, in light of it being Mental Health Awareness Week, I decided to talk about my mental health journey throughout dental school. And the reason why I thought of filming this is because I've actually gotten a few comments and questions about the impacts of being in dental school on mental health. And there were some comments that I received, or some questions that I received that sort of gave me the idea that people already had this perception of dental school being really difficult, and particularly dental school in my school. I don't know where people get this type of feedback. So I decided to sort of indirectly address it by talking about my own experience. Again, this experience is unique to myself, so it is in no way gonna be the same for everybody else. Everybody has their own experiences, and clearly my mental health is affected by more than just school. I have my childhood experiences, my own childhood, my family, my friends, the traumas, the heartaches, hardships, everything that forms a person has sort of developed me into who I am now and what my mental health state is now. Plus the isolation from the pandemic and all of that beautiful jazz. I'm gonna talk about my mental health in the context of dental school, just to kind of address some of the questions and concerns that people have. A lot of the questions were is it true that dentistry is so toxic and that it sucks the soul out of you, or that basically that it just is really terrible for your mental health? That's kind of the tone of some of the questions and comments that I get. So first of all, I want to say that yes, dental school is extremely difficult, not only academics wise. In fact, I would say that the difficulty of the academics is kind of the least of the difficulties, just because it's studying, and studying is always going to be hard no matter what you're taking. But dentistry has its own unique ways of being difficult. So it's kind of true that when you are a dental student, you are a student, you are a dentist or pseudo dentist, you are a secretary, you are a dental assistant, and admin staff, all in one. And it is actually incredibly stressful. When you're in dental school, so for the preclinical years, all you're doing is studying, practicing for practicals, practicing lab stuff, practicing your hand skills. So that's what you're focusing on. Right now, I am a clinician, so I am treating patients now at school. And once you start treating patients at school, that's when you realize, oh my God, you have to be so multi-talented. Not only do you have to be able to do the work well with your hands and have good hand skills and have the theory behind what you're doing as well, and remember or at least learn again everything that you've learned in the past, but you also have to be a dental assistant, because actually most of the time you don't have an assistant with you unless your school has a system for that, or you have a system for that with your own friends or your batchmates. And you're also in charge of doing the infection control and disinfecting in your little cubicle. You're also the one in charge of keeping track of all of your instruments, materials, making sure you have supply of everything. And then you're also in charge of the charting, and then you're also in charge of collecting the fees that the patients have to pay. And then particularly in my school, we also have to scramble to get even a slot to work at school. And you're like an administrator and an assistant, and it's just a little bit overwhelming, to be honest. Now, the good thing about my school schedule is Wednesdays, the clinics are closed. So Wednesdays are like a day off for us. Sometimes I do wonder if it would be better for the sake of our progress on our requirements if we had Wednesdays to work. But there are other weeks where I'm super thankful that I have the Wednesday off, especially when I'm feeling extremely overwhelmed. And it's actually timely that I'm making this video now, because I've been back in the clinic since the pandemic for about, I would say maybe about a month and a half. Some of the difficult parts, or some of the difficult days that I had, were actually because of these not so great interactions with people in school. There are just some people who are like that. That's just the way it is. Not everybody is gonna be extremely kind, patient, friendly, understanding. That's just the way it is. But maybe when I experienced it, maybe I was having a bad day myself. Maybe I was having a particularly sensitive day as well, and so it affected me the way that it did. Now that I'm in a new rotation, I am feeling much better actually, and particularly this week. So I have no script for this, guys, so I'm so sorry if I'm kind of jumping all over the place. The past week, I've been working out a lot again. I've actually done like 2 6:30 a.m. workout classes this week, and it's felt so good. Just for my mental health, to be honest, I've been in a better mood, I've been feeling more productive, and I've been having a more positive outlook again on my future. Now, for those of you who are not clinicians yet, and you're going through the studying and the rigorous classroom didactic work, what else can I say? It's hard. Anything that's new is hard, especially in the sciences, in the medical sciences, dental medical sciences. Everything is new. So it's really difficult to learn something new, and you will lose a lot of sleep and you will get really stressed. So all I can say is really to just keep going. There's nothing really you can do. You have to pass, right? And from my perspective, where I am right now, I honestly miss only having to think about studying, and I miss just having studying as my routine. It's mentally more exhausting because your brain is working so hard, but now in clinics it's like physically and emotionally tiring. Physically, because it's honestly, being a dental student, like in the clinics, is a very physical task. You're doing so much with your body, working on the patients, and then moving around, getting things checked, organizing things, packing things up, cleaning things, disinfecting things, whatever. You're moving around all the time. It's physically tiring. And then at the same time, there's also the emotional toll of absorbing the feedback, the energies that you get. But on the opposite end of it, when you're having a really good day, the like high that you get from it is just, I can't even describe it. It's like I guess you could say like reaching the finish line after a marathon. You're just like exhilarated, so happy, so energized even after the end of a really long day. That's something that I didn't really experience before clinics, and that's the feeling that I really try to strive for, although it's hard to predict when you're gonna get that unless you're just super amazing and super prepared all the time. But yeah, I did have maybe a couple days like that since going back to clinic, and I'm really trying hard to get those back again. Like, I'm still struggling to like get over the hump, and like I'm going through some things in here, and it's getting better. I'm talking to my friends about it. I talked to my boyfriend and my sister about it, and it's probably just like anything else. Like when you're going through this big transition, you kind of have to adjust to it. And whether you like it or not, even though I was a clinician before the pandemic hit, I spent 2 years. We all spent 2 years in like this really weird place in life, and we've all gone through some really difficult times during these 2 years, I imagine. Some people more difficult than others, and we've gone through so much that we probably haven't even begun to process everything. And suddenly we're being thrown into like the clinic again, and then the school, our professors, our patients, everybody has this expectation on us again to like start functioning normally, work normally, do what you used to do. A lot of you are already back in the clinic, I think. Like I follow some of you on Instagram, and I see that you're all treating patients again, which is so great. So, I mean, if you guys want to share your experiences with me, if you guys feel me, if you're coming from the same place or maybe have your own perspective, let me know in the comments as well. So that's been the journey. I'm still going through it, although days are getting much better. But I want to thank you guys, honestly, for being with me, especially on Instagram, and those of you who send me so much love and positivity and on my Instagram and here in the comments as well. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Peace and love, guys.